All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another Kawhi Leonard Rockets video for you guys. We're going to talk about Kawhi Leonard and just kind of the possibilities, if it's even, just if it could happen, what would it look like if it did happen, just kind of the whole shebang. But before we get into this video, if you enjoy it, hit that like button, hit that sub button. Appreciate it a bunch. Let's get right into it. We all know Kawhi Leonard. I mean, on his career, this dude is averaging almost 20 points per game, 6 rebounds. On the season, he's averaging nearly 26 points, nearly 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. He is one of the best players in the NBA, and he is going to be possibly a free agent. Now, I still think that Kawhi 100% is going to go back to the Los Angeles Clippers, but I also did not think he was going to really go to the Los Angeles Clippers. So you have that. Also, I really thought he was going to stay in Toronto, man. But Kawhi Leonard, one of the best, if not the best, two-way player in the NBA. Now, it took him a while to get going offensively in his career, but looking at him now, he is just an all-around beast. He is a defensive stud as well. You could argue he's like one of the best defenders in the NBA pretty easily. He's a two-time Defensive Player of the Year in 2015 and 2016. He's been on the All-Defensive First Team a few times. He is just a natural defender because he has a 7'3" wingspan, 11-inch hands, and he is 6'7". So he is just an absolute beast defensively. But when he entered the league, he wasn't really known as an offensive threat. It took him 4 years to average more than 15 points, but he worked on his offensive game. He got bigger. And that really just kind of made a huge result was when he got bigger. It honestly just kind of transformed his offensive game. As a result, he's only started his NBA career with only 46% of his two-point field goals unassisted. This guy is just a match. He's a match made in heaven. Match made in heaven. So what can he do for the Houston Rockets? I think he would take the Houston Rockets to the playoffs immediately. There is no way that Kawhi Leonard to the Rockets would not have him on the playoffs. No matter what team Kawhi goes to, they will be in the playoffs 100 billion times %. This dude is all around exactly what we need. I don't think that the Houston Rockets have really had a good small forward, and honestly, I don't even remember. Daniel House, no disrespect to Daniel House. I know he really put out for us in the bubble before the whole shenanigans, but Daniel House is definitely not the guy I want to move forward with long term. I think Daniel House has 1 year left after this season, so he's currently got 2 years left, I believe. I'm fine with bringing him back. I just would rather preferably somebody else, a better option at the small forward position. It doesn't necessarily have to be Kawhi Leonard because it's super unrealistic. I mean, I've made some videos on Kelly Oubre, Norman Powell, Duncan Robinson, Gary Trent. We've kind of talked about a whole bunch of different players, 3-and-D type players who can come onto this team and help them out. So Kawhi Leonard last season, just much of the same, 27, 7, and 5, averaging nearly 2 steals per game. There is no way this team with a top 4 pick and Kawhi Leonard would not be contending, in my opinion. So the realistic probability of this happening, it's just so low. It's got to be unbelievably low. For some reason, just in general, even if Kawhi wanted to leave the Clippers, which, nothing's really shown anything. There's been no dysfunctionality on the Clippers team this season. They're playing good. They're a really good team. The Los Angeles Clippers are a sleeper team. I think that they could easily find themselves in the playoffs, I think they could easily find themselves in the finals if they work their way through the playoffs, if they get the proper seeding, the proper matchups. I could definitely see them being in the finals because they're relatively healthy. I guess got a couple of guys like Serge Ibaka who aren't they're not healthy, but at the 3 seed, 41-19, they're just 3 spots back of the Utah Jazz. They're a great offensive team averaging 115 points per game. They're a great defensive team averaging only 108 points per game. Like, it's really good. Some of the only, like, two of the only better defenses on the West are the Utah Jazz and Los Angeles Lakers, and that is great company to be with. So, for some reason, if Kawhi Leonard wanted to even leave the Los Angeles Clippers, say they lose 3, they're up 3-1 and they lose in 7 in the first round again, or not again, first round, but you get my point. Even if that were to happen, worst case situation, Kawhi Leonard, for some reason, just doesn't even like the state of Texas. I swear to God, this dude does not like the state of Texas. He is biased towards Texas, and it's complete BS because why is Houston specifically, and I understand Dallas as well. I know Mark Cuban was talking about this recently. He talks about it a lot, actually. Like, why are these teams in Texas small market? Like San Antonio, always been small market. Dallas, Houston, these guys have always been small market. In Dallas, you've got a great team. You've got Luka, you've got Kristaps. You've got a great team over there, and they're making a run too. But Houston, they had the 3rd best winning percentage of teams, was it in the West or in the NBA, since 2001. And for some reason, they're still so small market. They've never really been able to attract huge free agent names. I don't understand it. Have you ever been to Houston, Kawhi? Like, I mean, obviously he's been to Houston, but like, it's beautiful. It's super fun. The culture is cool. The city is beautiful. The food's great. Like, and you're in Texas. You're in a huge state. You're in a great state. Like, I seriously don't understand the issue. I was just in Houston for the first time in January, and it was unbelievable. So I don't understand you, Kawhi, but let me know down in the comments what you think Kawhi is going to do, what you think the percentage that this could happen. I'm going to throw it at 1. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'll see you guys later.